What's up, people? So I think I'm gonna call these little short videos that I'm gonna make Tales from Vill's Hall. So everybody just calls me Vill. That's my nickname. That's where the name of the channel came from. Excuse me for not looking at the camera. I'm driving right now. But there was so much funny stuff that happened in my congregation. Hilarious stuff that it was funny then. Some of it's even funnier now as you look back and reflect on it. So this is gonna be a short video, but one of the funniest things that happened is when we combined congregations. So in my city, they redid the territory lines for the whole city, and so I don't know why. I don't know if it was to mix up people of different races or what, but it ended up being our congregation, which was probably 90% minority. Black, African American, and Latino. It was 90% minority, and they took like half of our congregation and moved them to another congregation farther west. And I wasn't in that piece, but I was in the other half. They combined us with a congregation that was like from the south part of our area, and it was much more suburban, and it was probably 95% white. And so we knew some of the witnesses from that congregation, but not most of them. But there was a big cultural difference that existed. So when they did it, and when they did that also, we ended up moving. We were the ones to move and go to their congregation, to their Kingdom Hall. And they, the other group ended up coming to the Kingdom Hall we were at. Eventually that hall was sold to a church, by the way, which was kind of funny. But in our new congregation, when we moved there, so first of all, we got there and it was like, it looked segregated. Not necessarily because of people trying to separate by race, but people were separating like by congregation, and it just happened to be that the racial disparity was pretty drawn in the different congregations. So you could pretty much walk in and see this congregation on this side, this congregation on this side, of people just looking at each other. It was kind of crazy. So they had like a couple picnics and get-togethers trying to get people to mingle and things, but it was a problem. It was obvious it was a problem. But one of the funny things is when it was time to sing the songs, our congregation was a little more I don't know how to really call it, maybe rambunctious, maybe, but they really got into the songs a little bit more. And so when the first time that we had the first song at the new combined congregation, you had the witnesses that we were joining, and they were singing all songs, Jehovah, and then our crew came in, like not me personally. This is way back when I was young. I was probably 11 when this happened, 12. But some friends in our congregation sung real loud and like not quite like being a choir, but they were into it. I mean, it sounded like Jodeci was over on our side. Ooh yeah, it was into it. And so when those first few notes hit and you saw a head start turning around and looking, oh, I was cracking up. I couldn't even hide. I was cracking up because they were like, oh goodness, where is that coming from? Who's singing like that? And then it made some of the people from our old congregation sing even louder, and it was just crazy. It was hilarious. And so a couple weeks later, maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks later, a special talk was given, and the talk was about not I don't remember exactly what the exact topic, how it was phrased, but basically it was about not mimicking parts of the world and not being like parts of the world. And in the talk, the elder specifically mentioned in our songs, as we're singing our songs in the congregation, and in other things we may do, and in our dress, and things like that. So, the brothers from when I shouldn't say the brothers, I wasn't really talking to but the young people and the different people that I talked to at the time, and being older teenagers, things like that, they were taking it like as a shot. They're trying to tell us to shut up. And so there was some tension, and I just remember it being so funny. I mean, that was along those times too. There were like friends that were like calling up and trying to like get the kids to mingle. So I remember I went on a couple different, I don't know if you would call them play dates or whatever at that time. I was like 11, maybe going into 12. Where the people would just call up I didn't even know from the new combined congregation who had kids, around my age. And they're like, yeah, we wanted to, know if he could come over and, spend the day with us. And so my mom was like, hey, you need to go over there, you need to, be brotherly. So I'm going to these people's houses I don't know. They're eating some weird stuff I had never heard of. And I don't want to be rude, so I'm trying to eat it, and it's disgusting. And then they're doing like weird stuff, and playing some weird games, and just cracking up at everything each other say. And I'm trying to laugh along, so I don't seem like I'm being rude. I'm like, ha, hilarious. It was a weird time, but that time when the congregations combined, I don't know if anyone else had been through something similar, but it was so funny. When I think back at it, when I reflect back on it, it was hilarious because just the disparity that existed in the different congregations. Eventually, it ended up working, I guess. People started to get to know each other better. People became more friendly with each other. People stopped singing crazy during the songs. But it was a funny, probably, I don't know, 6 months or so when things were just kind of hilarious, and just seeing people trying to blend in together and go out of their way. Some of the people from our hall started acting the way we had never seen them. We're like, wow, look at them trying to, assimilate. And then people from the other congregation were like using words and terminology, trying to blend in with, some slang and stuff that they don't use, and they're just using it out of place. It was just hilarious. So that was one of the tales, one of the funny things I remember growing up. One of the tales from my hall. There were a lot more. I'm gonna make some little short videos about them. Just, I like to, on my videos, like I've said before, I didn't really deal with a ton of, I didn't deal with any abuse or anything that I would consider hardship. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to partake in a lot of things, but I'm not like angry. So on my channel, I just like to provide another side. There's another side to it. I definitely understand everyone that went through those things, and I definitely have empathy for them. And if there's any way I can help them, I definitely will. But that just wasn't my experience. I had a lot of funny times, growing up, but that's one of them. That's one of them that I remember real well. If you had something similar happen, leave a comment, and I will get back with y'all.